Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special roofing contractor Q&A brought to you by Tecta America. I'm RC editor Art Eisner, and I'm happy to be joined today by RC publisher Joe Bloom and our very special guest, Tecta President and CEO Dave Reginelli. Hello, Dave. Welcome back to the RC studio. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Thanks. It was about this time last year you joined us, and we talked about your company's big anniversary, and obviously it was a big year following that in 2021. Kind of catch us up, about that experience and some of the bigger moments of, say, the last year at Tecta.
Wow, it's been a busy year. The company has grown quite a bit despite the pandemic and the aftermath of the pandemic, as we're calling it. We acquired Empire Roofing in July 19th of this year, and also Childers Roofing in Jacksonville, Florida in end of June. So 2 acquisitions so far this year. Empire, as you guys know, the industry knows, is a very large company, largest ever for Tecta. 13 locations throughout the Southwest, and a very good company with great reputation. Childers, same reputation in the Jacksonville market, which we actually have a location there. So a lot of people don't know, but we have multiple locations in the same market. We're able to make that work. All of our businesses run fairly independently with the benefits of the scale of the Tecta platform. So we're excited that both of those outstanding companies have joined the Tecta operation.
Well, that's certainly big news, and we will, dive into some of those acquisitions in just a few minutes. But can you sum up, quickly what those 2 acquisitions in particular, how do those help position Tecta in the overall marketplace for commercial roofing?
Well, it's certainly, I think, propelled us to number 1 in terms of the size in the marketplace. But frankly, we don't pay attention to volume and size. We run the business the way we've always run the business, which is a focus on local operations, excellence in their markets, and we just basically try to make those businesses even better by being part of the Tecta platform. So, as a lot of people don't realize, but Tecta is a very locally focused contractor. As big as we are, our goal is to be the best in the local market.
Got it. Well, overall, so obviously a big year, as you said. How would you assess the overall state of commercial roofing as we close 2021 and head into 2022?
I would say that it's stressed out. So it's on the heels of the pandemic. The supply chain problems really have everyone scrambling. I mean, if we were working hard before, we're working twice as hard today to do the same amount of work, maybe even 3 times as hard, honestly, because you're always scrambling to find a solution, whether that means finding supplies for a job that you can't change when you've run out of material, or finding a different system to put down, convincing the customer it's in their best interest. In our company, we have the advantage of being able to beg, borrow, and steal across our platform. So, that is what has helped us deal with it. I can't speak to other companies, but within Tecta, I know we're definitely helping each other out all across the country. We're shipping a roll of XYZ to, from New Jersey to Wisconsin, and screws from, one end of the country to the other, just to get roofs put on. And, it's not just the customers, right? It's the employees. Employees are missing hours, and they depend on those hours. So, everyone in our offices is working overtime to try to keep all of our employees, our roofing associates, busy as well.
Got it. Well, obviously, there's a lot of benefits to having that national network that you've built there at Tecta. Before I hand it off to Joe for more questions about the supply chain, I did just want to ask, was there anything that you learned through the pandemic that prepared your company better for those challenges you're facing now with the supply chain problems?
That's a great question, and I thought about it a little bit. The biggest thing I think for Tecta, we've always been cooperative across all of our branches. So we have this model of these sort of independent branches that focus on their local market, and they've always taken advantage of the programs that the corporate office offers them to help improve their businesses. But what we've been able to do is also have them talk to each other a lot more and share resources and materials and ways to solve problems. And it's really made us closer as a family of companies, and as people all facing the same challenges. It brings a lot of unity. So I guess at the end of the day, I know that we're coming out of this a much stronger company as a result of these hardships.
Got it. Jill, off to you.
Well, Dave, first, I just want to say congratulations on those acquisitions. Of course, as you know, Empire was our contractor of the year for 2020.
Yes.
So we were excited to see that news for them. And what a great, we think the world of them as well. So Ronnie and the family. But anyway, yes, kind of just onto these crazy supply chain issues. What I guess when you look at project delays and furloughs, what has been like the biggest lingering issues that you guys had to really manage and work through with that?
I guess it's I think the first phase of the supply chain issues was, as you guys have probably heard, everyone was double, triple ordering. I think the industry has kind of moved past a lot of that. And now people have switched systems. So they've kind of moved through different phases of dealing with the problem. And we're kind of running out of tricks at this point. So, it's concerning to us that the manufacturers are talking about this extending well into 2022, and maybe even into 2023. So that has definitely kind of gotten our attention of late. So, when you're in the middle of it, you're just working hard trying to find solutions. But when you stand back and look at how long they think this could go on, it's very concerning. And we're pretty well positioned, but we're not immune like anybody else. Surely we can do the things I was talking about, but there's only so much inventory to drain out of warehouses, right? And so that's true for the manufacturers and their stocks, the distributors and their stocks, and it's also true for us in our warehouses and our stocks. By the end of this year, I think we're out of material, so now we'll be truly hand to mouth.
Well, we're all praying that doesn't happen, but it sounds like you guys have worked really well with each other, being as large as you are, being able to share materials and things like that. What would you say have been some of the big wins and how your team has kind of been managing all this?
The big wins are little ones, lots of them. We, like I cited, I would say every week we have a communication email that goes out for all of our operating presidents, where they can share and ask for help. That has never been more active than it is today. And so every day we're solving those problems. And when we see that if the email goes out, of course, everybody reply all, and to see everybody pile on with how they can help, that makes me as a leader of the company feel immensely proud of our response. And it's little, but it's big. It's big because I know that everyone knows that we're all in it together, and so it's kind of a common objective. We if one fails, we all feel like we fail. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, that is definitely one thing about the roofing industry, is everybody is like family.
Absolutely. And Tecta's, we're a family business. That's how we look at it. Even though we're as big as we are, it doesn't feel like that when you work here. Everyone has a personal connection.
That's awesome. So what do you think that we've learned as an industry about this, and how do we move forward?
It's a good question. I think that, I think we've learned that we're sort of in a different camp than maybe the manufacturers and distributors. They're working real hard. I wouldn't want to be them because the things they're having to deal with. We've obviously, being our size, we talk at the highest levels of all the companies. They're having as hard a time as we are. I know that's frustrating for our people to hear. There's talk of, hey, they coordinate all this. I don't believe it for a second. They're scrambling. The extra hurricane doesn't help in the midst of all of this when that comes up. So I would say that as an industry, we've learned that we really got to take care of each other, and that's the important thing. I know that we work with a lot of strategic partners too, and we work with them. We're very willing to help out whoever we can because if they scratch our back, we scratch their back, and vice versa. So
That's awesome. Always great to see when people are helping each other out. Art, back to you.
They show. Dave, I just wondered, did it ever get to the point where the conversation shifted from, hey, we're Tecta, of course we're going to have materials, to, oh no, we're Tecta and we're still not able to get what what we need here.
I mean, it's more the latter. We obviously, our size gives us some advantage, but I get that question a lot of times. Everyone's facing the same issue. It's not like there's stashes hidden. I mean, everything's been spoken for. I think the manufacturers are getting smarter about how they allocate materials going forward, and that's really, I think, going to help. At least the quality contractors stay more current with their customers. But when the supply chain is drained, there's not a lot of optionality there, and I think that's just the reality of kind of where we're at.
Well, Jill was actually at the Empire warehouse, so perhaps your acquisition was very fortuitous at the time. They certainly have a big capacity of storage there. But I do want to dive into that acquisition. It certainly was the biggest one that caught our readers' attention this year, one of our top 10 stories of the year. Please walk us through, how did this courtship begin? And really what I want to know, how do you convince a $150 million company that they need Tecta?
Well, first of all, I mean, we've known the Empire folks for a long time, and myself, 2015, but some of our people well before that. A few of them have, their principals have worked for Tecta in the past, or with Tecta predecessor companies. So, it's a tight industry, as you guys know. So we've always been close, and I would say the courtship has been 6 years long. When I really add it all up. So it's something we've always, sort of said, hey, this would be a marriage made in heaven. Obviously, a deal that big takes a lot to get done on both sides. And, it was more of an evolutionary thing than anything else. Frequently, companies get to the point where they have to think about succession planning in the future and well beyond the principals. I mean, Matt and Ronnie are in it for the long run. I don't want anybody misconstrue that, but they're not going to be here forever, and Tecta's going to be here forever. So one of the things we have is the training and the scale to help develop that next generation to take over the company and continue its legacy. And their culture and our culture very similar. That's the number one thing we look for. I would say if we look at 100 companies, probably 5 get through all of our filters to be candidates to be part of Tecta. And that's quite a mutual thing too. I mean, people have to want to be part of Tecta. We always say we're not looking for sellers, we're looking for partners. And we live that. That's important for both sides. So we treat them as partners, and we want them around as partners.
So this long into the move so far, how is the transition going?
It's good. It's always tough up front, because one of the things with Tecta is to be all on the same system. So, I always sell that, as it's a lot of pain up front, but there's a lot of benefit down the road. And I've never met a seller 2 years in, sorry, a partner 2 years in, who didn't say, that was worth doing. So it's a big part of the upfront pain, but it has huge dividends down the road.
All right. And as far as uh, what concerns you, I guess, about the continued consolidation we're seeing among, contractors, is the rest of the industry catching up to the Tecta model?
I think we've been at this a long time, so I don't want to say that we're not worried about it. We're not worried about it from like derailing our mission. But I am a little concerned that there's some pure financial guys getting in. We don't consider even though we're private equity owned, we're a strategic. I mean, we're in the business of roofing, and when someone joins us, they're not dealing with any of, that end of the business. So if they don't join a company like Tecta, then they're dealing with a world that they're not familiar with. That's my job, and our corporate team's job is to deal with the investor community and lets our contractors just do what they do best, which is roofing. And if companies are dealing directly with, financial sponsors, it's a whole nother world, and they better have their eyes open on that and what that means. And then also for, I hate to say it, for the financial guys getting into the business, contracting is a different animal. It's not manufacturing, it's not distribution, and it's not a straight line. So they should be prepared for volatility, because that's what contracting is about fundamentally. I always say we're on 10,000 roofs a year in terms of jobs, production jobs. Those are 10,000 startups and shutdowns a year. It's a different environment than most financial players are used to.
That's the way. So there's a stark way to look at it. I think, and as far as it looks like these acquisitions, the timing was right for you guys. Will Tecta be roofing's first billion-dollar company?
I think so. I think we're close.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and that said,
if it weren't for the pandemic, we would definitely, if it weren't for the supply chain issues, we'd be over that mark.
Okay. All right. So bold predictions for the next video. Yeah. Well, you did talk about being a forever company. Let's talk quickly about the future of Tecta. What does that look like? And what are you really encouraged about?
Well, I'm encouraged that despite our size, we're 3% of the market. So maybe we've moved from 2 to 3, but we're still tiny in this very fragmented market, and our business model is proven. Typically, the companies, almost 100% of the companies we've purchased have improved in many areas: safety and quality, performance, culture, as they join Tecta. So, for us, it's a cause. It really is. Our mission is to attract, develop, and retain the best people in the industry. That's what our mission is. And our ability to grow through consolidation, or you call it consolidation, we call it acquisition, is really, we never cut people. When we buy a company, we keep everybody, because people are the hardest thing to find in this industry. And if you're buying a good company, they're going to have great people, and we look to develop them and keep them forever. So that's our business model, and it's a cause for us.
All right, and working out so far, I'd say. Uh, Dave, Jill, thanks for the insight and great conversation. Please check out tectaamerica.com for more information and follow them on all the popular social media platforms. Please also be sure to check out roofingcontractor.com to stay up to date with the latest news, videos, podcasts, and other featured content. Be sure to sign up for our free new digital edition e-magazine by hitting the subscribe button on the top of our homepage. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.